Hey, welcome back to the 49ers Red Gold Redemption podcast. And I'm back and I'm here to discuss this 49ers victory over the Giants, which was an easy victory for a change. I would like to have more of these victories that don't come down to the wire, but a nice, stress free game. And now people are still talking about this quarterback controversy between Mac Jones and Brock Purdy. Shannon Sharp on Nightcap did a video on it. I listened to a discussion with Steve Young about it, and I have my own theories on this thing and who I prefer. And if y'all watch my videos, y'all know I prefer Brock Purdy. Mac Jones fits perfectly in the system, so I expected him to do well because it fits well for him. And that's the issue with a lot of these quarterbacks, especially these first rounders. They get put in a situation or a team that's usually disorganized and they don't have the right pieces around them, and their play style doesn't fit the scheme of the coach. Because usually it's a clash between the coach, GM, and the owner. Mainly, it's the owner who wants that new flashy guy. That flashy guy doesn't fit into what the coach wants, and vice versa. So that usually happens with it happened with Mac Jones, Daniel Jones, and what's going on with damn, what's the name? What's the name? I forgot his name. With the Seahawks, we got to deal with him. He was with us last year. I forgot his name. So in saying that, um, I looked at the stats, compared the stats between Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, and they're similar. Um, and it's just certain things that I prefer more with Brock Purdy. And in my opinion, Brock Purdy and Mac Jones, I compare them to Spock and Captain Kirk from Star Trek, and to a certain extent, like I see Mac Jones being that guy who's more analytical, cerebral. He's going to make all the right plays. He's not going to do anything too risky, and that fits into how Kyle Shanahan has been throughout his coaching career. Then we got Brock Purdy, who's more like Captain Kirk. He's like that too, cerebral, and he makes the right plays, but he's willing to risk it. He's willing to do crazy things that you're kind of like, no. Oh, okay. So he's willing to take more risk, and that's what I want more from a quarterback. Because sometimes if you get too stuck in being analytical, when things go wrong, you don't know how to operate as much. So Mac Jones can be like that. We'll see. But I know I base it on what I've been seeing and all our 49ers fans been seeing with Brock Purdy. He can operate within chaos, and that's what I like. So yeah, he does make those risky throws, but I'd rather have that than someone who's playing it too safe. And that has been something that backfired on us, especially when it comes to the coach. So that's why I prefer Brock Purdy. But Mac Jones is doing great. He's doing fantastic. He started the game 14-14, very efficient. And the key to our offense, we all know, Christian McCaffrey. Man, he's a special player. He's very special. He can do so much. He's a great runner, of course. Then you get him on a slot, and then you get him in those mismatches, and it just always works. And it's just, I know Mac Jones is like, man, it's just so easy to have this guy there. And Brock Purdy capitalized off that as well. And during Brock Purdy's first season, when Jimmy G got hurt, Jimmy G was playing very well too. He was doing well. I believe he had Chris McCaffrey that year. Yeah, and he was playing very efficiently. So this is something we've seen before. I just don't want Mac Jones to be like, Jimmy G. When Jimmy G is playing well, he's playing well before the injury as well. He played very good. But I don't want to get to a point where you get too complacent. But I don't think, hopefully, Mac Jones is not like that, because we're going to see more of him because they're going to start studying him more. So we'll see about that. But I need somebody who's willing to take more risks during the right time, like that game Brock Purdy had, that NFC Championship game against the Detroit Lions. We seen when we needed a player to just go for it. Hey, look, I'm not going to get this first down. We toss it up there. Juwan Jennings, get it. So that's what I need. But we got the Rams next, and there's speculation on is Brock Purdy coming back for that game, because that's a very important game, a divisional game, or are we going to keep Mac Jones, who's doing very well? In my opinion, keep Mac Jones in there, because I don't think that turf toes healed. I don't want Brock Purdy in there compromised. He needs to be mobile. So keep Mac Jones in there. See how he plays against the Rams, because the Rams are going to be heated. The Rams are mad right now, and They're looking for revenge, but they'll be playing on our home field. So that's a very big game, and they're looking hot. And if we beat the Rams twice, man, with all these injuries, and we're just getting it done like that, oh man. And we'll see if Brandon Ayuk is going to come back. He's a great receiver, but then you got to understand the underrated part of him with the blocking. So that's why Kyle they draft wide receivers who know how to block. To when we had To knew how to block. He took pride in blocking, and that's what I want with my wide receivers. I want them to be make an impact when they're not catching the ball. So I feel like this is kind of similar to Brock Purdy and Mac Jones in a certain way. Kind of reminds me of Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers in a way. Phillip Rivers being Mac Jones and Drew Brees being Brock Purdy. Because there's people who are trying to dismiss and kind of count Brock Purdy out, and it's similar to Drew Brees. Now I do understand Drew Brees had that shoulder injury, but they're looking for the new hot thing. Drew Brees healed up and he went on fire with the Saints, Hall of Fame career. So Brock Purdy if his career is similar or even close to Drew Brees, we got to keep him. Don't go too far because a lot of 49ers fans, I don't want to say a lot, but certain ones, they're always hopping on and off the bandwagon. They're always in this doom or gloom type of talk. One minute they love Jennings, next minute they don't want him here no more because he won a new contract. He's getting it done with the injuries, and he's not complaining too much that we know of. But he did well last game, so it's not affecting him too much. He still has injuries, but he's getting touchdowns. He's playing good, and we just can't jump off the bandwagon every time like that. Brock Purdy has shown us that he's very good. He's an elite quarterback. Last year there was a lot of issues. Last year because people are comparing Brock Purdy last year to Mac Jones this year. But there's one thing that Brock Purdy didn't have. CMC. He didn't have Chris McCaffrey. Chris McCaffrey was injured most of the year last year. So then Brandon Ayuk was gone early. So he didn't have a lot of his weapons. But I will say that happened to be George Kittle's best year last year. So he had a very efficient year last year. But Brock Purdy didn't have Chris McCaffrey. So you're always going to play better with him. Mac Jones is playing very well with Chris McCaffrey. So you can't make the comparisons. It's just like, if you're going to do that, let's compare the 2022 year or 2023 year that Brock Purdy had to Mac Jones' year this year. And I looked it up, and their stats were similar. So it comes down to how you operate when there's chaos, when the play is broken, how you operate. And that's why I prefer Brock Purdy. So we got this tough game coming up against the Rams, and I live in LA, so I got to hear from these guys all the time. A lot of these Los Angeles fans are spoiled. They feel like if they all win this year. There we go. Hello, hello. Yeah, my mic went off. Yeah, I was ranting about these Los Angelinos, man. Y'all won. The Dodgers won. The Lakers doing well. Yeah, multiple championships. But y'all, whatever. I've been dealing with these Los Angeles fans for a while. But when it comes to the Niners, it ain't nothing finer. So y'all got to deal with us, and you got to deal with whoever we got in there. Hopefully it's Mac Jones, because I don't want to compromise injured Brock Purdy in there. All right, keep him out if he's not 100%, because we'll need him for the playoffs, especially if we got, man, the Rams are tough and the Seahawks, and we beat them already. That's the thing. Like, these teams are looking even better, but we already took care of them, and we're injured. We're the most injured team in the league. And Kyle Shanahan is stepping it up. He's getting better and better. Because at first I was a little, he just played a little. He has been a little too complacent at times. That's why I need him to take more risks. But I'm starting to see that overall in the league, more teams are going for it on fourth down. So a lot has changed. So now he's going to likely go for it more on fourth down. So he won't be as complacent. So Mac Jones, the positives to have Mac Jones in there, especially for this very important game against the Rams, is that he has chemistry with Kendrick Bourne. He has very good chemistry with him. So that's a positive. I'm not too sure yet with George Kittle, so I haven't really seen him clicking like that. But George Kittle is still he's always making an impact with his blocking, and he's a good distraction to leave other players open. So I still say that's one of the other positives of having Mac Jones in for this very important divisional game. And what else? What else? As long as we got the run game working, Chris McCaffrey's playing well, everything will go well. Defense, defense is doing what they can despite these very painful injuries. Now, Michael Williams is out. Our rookie first round pick is out. So with an ACL injury. Hopefully I said his name right. I mispronounced so many words. Let me see. I think it's Michael. I'll get it right. I just got what's his name? What's our backup tight end? I forgot his name too. Man, I'm so forgetful. But anyways, as long our defense, we'll have to get together. Robert Sala, of course, he's been a difference maker. He's trying to get it done with who we have, with all these injuries. Boza out, Fred Warner, our defensive leader, out. Now our first round pick is out. So everybody, these young players, got to step up. Okay, at the end of the day, if you can make it to the NFL, you're a great player because it's very rare for you to make it to the NFL. This the best. These are the best. So even if you're coming off the bench, you're the man. And these guys are young, so they're trying to prove themselves. So it's y'all time to step up because a lot of people think, hey, Niners, let's start looking forward to next year. Like you never know what could happen. This could be a 30 for 30 documentary based on this year. And it could be titled Injured. This 49ers team was so injured, yet they won the Super Bowl. Who would have expected that? The key is, and you got Chris McCaffrey in your offense. That's very possible. So that's all I got to talk about. Let's put this whole Brock Purdy. We need to stick with Mac Jones this year and next year. Let's put that talk. Let's throw that talk into the trash. All right, let's not do that. All right. So that's it for the Red Gold Redemption podcast. Let's get ready for this Rams game. Let's take care of the Rams and move on to the next.